What's going on, barbers and entrepreneurs? Are you always hearing today, especially in today's time, build an empire, build a business, grow this thing, scale, team, marketing, branding? Guess what? None of us started this way. So in this video, we're about to debunk all of those different negative statements that's consuming your mind so much to where you can't move forward. Let's get into this video.
Listen, I just want to take this time to appreciate you for checking out this episode. Listen, in this community, it's all about impacting lives. It's not about hustling. Let's get back into it.
All right, so we back into this video, y'all. So listen. Let's get down to the nitty gritty of things. So many of us, we hear today on podcasts, we hear today on different people's shows, or you might have read a book, or you're going on social media and you're seeing all of these different people putting these different things out there. But guess what? Just like myself, no one started in their craft, or no one started with a skill set and was thinking about building a business. You didn't start out thinking about building an empire. You wasn't thinking about a team or growing a business or scaling a business or trying to figure out how to advertise and market yourself. No, just like me, the Clippers was put in my hand back in 2005. I was a sophomore in high school. Now, when those Clippers was put in my hand, it's not because I wanted to cut people's hair. No, that wasn't the idea at all. I wanted to keep my own haircut. So my mother wasn't always in a position to send me and my brother to the barbershop. So guess what? It was either for a certain holiday, or it might have even been my birthday. I'm not really sure, but I do remember this. I asked my mom, can I have some clippers? And I remember she went to Kmart. Now, I know y'all remember Kmart, man. There's not a lot of them around now today. But she went to Kmart and she got me them blue light specials. And guess what? It came with the trimmers and the clippers. They have the different color guards in there and the oil and all of these different things. So she came home. She came home one day and she put that kit in my hand and she asked me a question. She said, "What are you gonna do with this?" I said, "Ma, I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out." Look, I'm in high school, y'all. This is important. My head has to be right. So guess what I started doing? I started working on myself. I never got into it to build a business or grow a brand or scale something. No, I started out doing my own hair. And over time, as I learned how to do my own hair, I started doing my brother's. Then I started doing my brothers and some friends. And then that transitioned over to friends of friends. And then it just grew over time, over the years. But guess what? I didn't start out thinking about growing a business or building a brand or marketing myself or seeing myself more than just a person that's out here hustling. See, because there were so many times where I was just cutting hair just to get the reps in. I was just cutting hair just to get the practice. So it's many of times I was cutting hair for free. Especially starting out, I was cutting hair for free. I wasn't thinking about growing or building a business. I just found a skill, or I found a passion in something, and it's like, okay, I'm getting pretty good at this. Okay, I think I can do something with this. But still, I wasn't in a mindset of, all right, it's time to build this business. It's time to grow this brand. It's time to scale, Jonathan. No, you're not even old enough to be certified in cutting people's hair. I'm not 18 years old. I haven't been through barber school yet. So that's just equivalent to your tattoo artists, your nail techs, barbers and stylists, and so many different other service-based industries out there. We didn't start out thinking like a CEO. We started out thinking, oh, this is something that I can do. Oh, this is something that I can make money from. So that's what I was doing, just like I'm 1000% sure every one of you all that's watching this video right now, you started out the same way. I was cutting hair in bathrooms, in the school hallways, in the school locker rooms. I was cutting hair in the hood where I grew up at. I was cutting hair outside. I'm cutting hair in the back of the trucks. I'm cutting hair everywhere. Wherever I can sit a chair down, I'm cutting hair. Wherever I can get some space to cut hair, I was cutting hair, y'all. It wasn't about building or growing a business. But now, in today's world, now in today's time, we have so many podcasts out there. We have so many influencers on social media. So there's so much media out there right now. There's so much information out there right now. And sometimes we can be so consumed with so many people's different voices on social media, on podcasts, on YouTube, or on these social media platforms to where we no longer hear our own voices. We no longer can make a shift from how we've been operating so long to operating like a business. See, one thing we have to understand is today, we have to get out of that mindset of just seeing that skill that we learn as just a side hustle, as just something we do, as just something that I can make a little quick cash under the table. No, you're certified now. You have your license now. You put in the work, you put in the time, you went to school, you got the certification. Now it's time to build and grow a business. Now it's time for us to get out of this mindset of being stuck in a hustler's mentality. It is a hard shift. It is some things you have to change about yourself to become the version of yourself you need to be in this day and time with the license that you have now. Because yes, now you have to grow a business. You're not just a service provider. You're not just doing nails. You're not just cutting hair. You're not just giving tattoos. You are a business owner. Now, here's the thing. So many people feel like I'm not a business owner unless I have a brick and mortar space. A brick and mortar space is like a building, like right now, what I'm in right now. This is my shop, but I'm in a plaza right now. But this is called a brick and mortar space. And because you do not have a building, you feel like, oh, I'm not a business owner, I'm just cutting hair. Or you might be just someone that's working in someone's shop. You're working in that shop and you don't see yourself as a business owner. You only see yourself as an employee within that shop. You only see yourself as an employee just trying to do, like I said, whether you're cutting hair, you're giving tattoos, you're a nail tech, whatever it is that you're doing. You only see yourself how you see yourself because that's how you've been operating for so long. Guess what? It's gonna take some things to renew your mind now to make that shift, because now you have to think about things. Any industry that you're in, you can possibly run into some risks. What if someone sues you and you've been just operating like myself? I'll talk about the barbering industry. Like myself. What if back then, over the years, I was cutting some hair and someone sued me? Maybe I messed up a cut really bad. Maybe I cut you really bad, or I hurt you in some type of way and you wanted to sue me. Guess what? I don't have insurance, so there's nothing protecting you or protecting myself. One, at that particular time, I'm not covered. I don't even have a license or certifications, so I'm not even supposed to be servicing anyone. Okay, that's the second thing. And here's the other thing. Now, when I want to be sued, let's just say I had a license, but I'm still not incorporated some type of way. I haven't created a business and positioned myself to scale this thing. This is what happens. So now, because I didn't get an LLC, because I didn't set up my business structure and get myself properly positioned so that I can build out a business, because I'm a service provider in my community now, because I didn't do those things, by default, I default to what's called a sole proprietor. Now, as a sole proprietor, this is a business structure. See, you have LLCs, you have S Corps, you have C Corps, and you have sole proprietorships, and you have DBAs. Now, when you do not incorporate yourself, by default, you end up being a sole proprietor. Now, as a sole proprietor, that means all liabilities, all risks, they're on you. Everything is on you. So if you're sued, your bank accounts can be touched, your home can be touched, your cars can be touched, your bank accounts can be frozen. Like, everything you own, any asset you possibly have can be touched. But guess what? We have to shift our minds into thinking about those things, because you're not just cutting hair. You are a business. You are separate from that business. You have to understand an LLC being in that same boat, being in that same position will protect your assets. So if someone wanted to sue you, you're covered. You have insurance. Someone wanted to sue you, you're covered. Your assets are protected. You don't have to worry about your bank accounts being frozen. You don't have to worry about your house being touched, or your cars may be taken away from you, or whatever assets you might have. It might be some investments that can be touched. The thing is that LLC protects your assets. And that's what I need you to see. See, most of us are thinking just about the right now. I need the right now cash. I want to hustle. I want to get as many clients as I can. I want to get as many customers as I can. I want to get as many people as I can to sit in my chair so that I can do this service, and then I can go out and I can buy things. I can go out, I can do things. Ooh, I'm winning. I got cash in my pocket. But you don't realize you're a business owner. There's taxes. There's a mindset you have to think about, how do I reinvest back into my business so that it scales? How are you marketing yourself? How are you branding yourself? How are you putting yourself in front of new people? All the money that you're making doesn't belong to you. I'm talking to the entrepreneur in every service-based business. Yes, this community is talking to barbers. This is all about the Complete Barber Blueprint, and this is what I teach in the Complete Barber Blueprint. But not only am I talking to the barber in you, but I'm talking to the entrepreneur in you. Every or any new entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur needs to know these things in the beginning of your process. I'm telling you, we have to make this shift in our minds. We can't just think about the right now. We have to think about our future. Now, when it comes to how we're scaling or how we're building wealth, all businesses across the board needs a few things. You need leads. If you have the best service in the world and I don't know where you are, what are the chances of me getting your service? What are the chances of you solving my problem? I might feel like, man, everybody always, mess up on my hairline, or my blend in the back isn't always that great, or my beard, they cut it down too low, or they take my lines in too deep, or they're not keeping it as natural as I would like it to be. Whatever your issues might be, whatever your concerns might be, how am I bringing resolve to those issues? That's how you have to be as a service provider. It can't just be about a quick in and out cut. It's about the experience that you're creating. You're a business. So all businesses have to have an experience to them. Now, whether you're being purposeful about it, or it's kind of unintentional, there's an experience that's being experienced by your clients. Every single person that interacts with you. What do I mean by experience? How is it to book an appointment with you? What is that experience like? What is the experience like when I walk into when you're in your space and now you're conducting the actual service? What is that experience like? How do I feel when I leave your experience? The experience you have. So just think about a fine dining restaurant. When you walk into a fine dining restaurant and you have a scheduled appointment, you do not care about why a person might be late or what happened. Not that you do not have empathy or you're not sympathetic, but you scheduled an appointment. This is your anniversary, or this is your big promotion and you're going out to celebrate it, and you have a 3:00 appointment or a 7:00 evening appointment at a fine dining restaurant, and you show up to that appointment and they're not ready. You show up to that appointment and they're telling you, oh, wait a minute, we need to clean these tables. Give us about 25-30 minutes. That experience is what your clients is experiencing. And guess what? You can have the best food in the city. You can have the best steaks that anybody has ever acquired. But guess what? Your experience was lacking because you wasn't prompt. It doesn't matter why you were late. It doesn't matter why the tables wasn't clean. That person that's experiencing your service, they care about what they booked. They care about what you said you were going to provide. I'm supposed to be sitting at my table at 3:00, at 7:00. Why am I just now getting in the chair at 7:30? That's a bad experience. Guess what? Expect a bad review, possibly. Now, say you went over the top within your service and you're doing different things to try to make up for that late experience you just gave them. At the end of the day, you cannot be upset about what happens after that, because if a review goes up and now instead of giving you a 5-star, you get a 3-star for the haircut, but because I had to wait, my experience with you wasn't really the best. But we get so many of us that get stuck in this mindset of thinking, I'm the service provider, so I'll just do this service and you just have to deal with what I have to deal with. Well, that customer also doesn't know that someone might have been late. Well, again, systems need to be put into place, because all of your client base needs to know and understand, hey, I'm not just a hustler, I'm operating a business. So when you're late, you're pushing my time back, and now that pushes the next person behind you back. You're making my customer service look bad. Are we thinking about those things as a service provider? Are we thinking about those things as the CEO of our businesses? Are we? We are not just cutting hair. We are building and growing brands and growing a business. Guess what? If the only portion of your business depends on you actually getting up every day cutting hair to fill this chair, we will never scale that business. That business isn't scalable. In order to scale a business, you have to have products and different things put into place on automation. Can any of us walk away from our business and it still continues to run? I'll let that sit there for a second. Can you right now walk away from what you're doing and your business is still going to grow? No, because we haven't made that shift in our minds. We still hustling. We still just trying to service the people that we've always been servicing. We're not trying to generate new leads by marketing. We're not trying to generate new leads by our branding and our messages that we're putting out there. We're not utilizing free promotion like social media platforms. We're saying, oh, that's too much work. Oh, it's too much to do all of that. I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to invest in those things. My statement to you is, you don't have time not to invest in those things, because if you're doing everything in your business, you are not operating like a business. And I'm putting myself in this because I'm still in the implementing stage. If we are the only ones doing work at the lowest level of wealth creation, if we are the only ones in the business doing the physical labor work, we are just self-employed. We are not running a successful business because the business isn't automated. Systems have to be put in place. We have to make that mind shift. The Bible tells us, be ye transformed by the renewing of our minds. So just like when a computer has some different bugs on it, there's some pop-ups and different things going on with the computer. So you need a software to come clean the system, right? So that's the same thing with us. If we are to renew our minds, it's just like rebooting that computer, getting it back to its original state so that you can use it properly. You put the software onto the computer so it downloads new information to drown out what was there and to update what needs to be there so it can be fully functional. That's the same thing we need to do in our mindsets, because everything starts in the mind. You are not just a service provider. You are not a hustler. You are a business owner. You are a CEO of your brand, and you are trying to scale your business. You are in a service-based business providing services to your community, to your city. You want to be covered. You want to make sure you're operating like a business. You are not the business. You are the employee of your business. What do I mean by that? So I'm a barber. Today I have many haircuts that I have to do today. And I'm going to service every one of those clients, but I have to understand when they walk into this space, when they're sitting in this chair, they're walking into Money Cuts Barbershop. I am not Money Cuts Barbershop. I'm Jonathan. I'm an employee of my service. I'm an employee of this shop. Now, it's my shop, But I have to understand that I have to separate myself from the shop. I'm Jonathan and the business is the business. Now, when I cut this person's hair, I have to also understand the business made that money. I'm the service provider, yes, but the business made that money. I get a portion or a percentage of what was earned, but that's the business money. So how do I think like a business? I take the business money and I learn different strategies and plans and ways to position myself to grow. So how do I take those funds, reinvest it back into my marketing? How do I reinvest it back into my advertising? How do I get myself in front of my specific client that I'm looking for? How do I get myself in front of the audience that wants my thing, that's looking for my thing? How do I do that? I have to think like a business owner, not a hustler. We're not just hustling in this community, y'all. It's about impacting lives. So within this community, I want us to understand there's some mindset shifts that have to change. There's so much more in you. And I want to take this time right now to encourage you. You are enough and you're gonna make it. You're not alone. Within this community, we're gonna help each other. We don't have to stay stuck. Before, you might have been operating like a hustler. Before, you might not have seen or you might not have known that, man, I can really scale this thing. I can really build this out. I can really have a successful business. You might not have thought that you really had that, or you might not have thought that you were actually in that position right now, but you are. You're certified. You have your license. Now it's time to grow. Now it's time to get this structure in place so that you can start building your business credit up. After you build your business credit up, now you're in position for capital. Now you don't have to worry about going out to get loans. Now you can go out and get banks and investors to invest in your vision. You might have a product idea. You might have a course that you want to sell. You might have some coaching programs. You might have something that you're trying to give to the marketplace. But if we do not know where you are, if I don't know how to find you, you will not scale that business. We have to make the mindset shift from thinking like a hustler to transitioning like a CEO. This is the complete barber blueprint, y'all. And I want to tell you, family, I love you all. I appreciate you all for tuning in. And I'm looking forward to seeing the success stories that we're going to have out of this community. I'm looking forward to great heights. I want high energy today. This is a day that we've never seen before. This is a 24 hours today. I'm talking about today. This is a 24 hours we've never seen before. So be the person, be a version of yourself you've never been before. Provide a service today like you've never provided before. You're more than just you. You're more than just an individual. You are a CEO of your brand. So let's start acting like it, y'all. This is the complete barber blueprint, y'all. You already know. Let's go.